This week's podcast is brought to you by Southwest Sanitation. Since 1967, the professionals at Southwest Sanitation have brought you reliable and honest service. We offer commercial, rural, and residential services, as well as roll-offs and portable toilets. Call your locally owned and operated neighbors at Southwest Sanitation for all your sanitation needs. 507-532-4500.
Welcome to the 10th edition of the Headlight Hot Seat, and I am Per, your host, and I am honored today to be joined by Miss Diane Campbell. Mrs. Campbell, thank you for joining us, Diane.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
Can you start out, I usually start out with, let's get to know you a little bit. Let's let our listeners get to know you. So go over start from the start, right?
Sure.
Education, and then we'll go into family and everything like that.
Okay. So I moved to Tracy when I was 2.
From where?
Pardon me? From Minnesota.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yep. So I've lived here the vast majority of my life. I attended Tracy High School, went to Wilmer Votech for 9 months and moved back. I am married to my high school sweetheart.
I was going to ask you, I've always been curious. Sorry to interrupt you, but I do that a lot. You were a wrestling cheerleader.
I was.
Is that, and Carl, of course, as we all know, was a pretty darn good wrestler.
Yep.
Was the relationship before that or because of that?
It was because of that.
Okay.
Because of that. I was a cheerleader my senior year, and I just got to know him there, and the rest is history.
And you have a number of really fine children.
Yes, we have 3 children, a boy and 2 girls. They're all 3 adults and all 3 married.
Let's get their names.
Zach Campbell, Taylor Campbell, now McCain, Alyssa Campbell, and she's now a Perez.
Is Zach going to tie the knot anytime soon?
Zach,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Zach is married.
Oh, he is. Okay.
He's married to Liz. They have a little girl, Harper, and Alyssa has little Luca. So,
Okay.
and another one on the way. Zach and Liz are having another one in
Wow.
November. So,
Grandma Diane.
yes, right.
How does that ring a bell? Does
Love
that sound
every
well?
second of it.
Yeah.
Yes,
What do you love about it? Just being able to spoil them and
just it's that there's just nothing like it.
so. Were you a wrestling fan? That's maybe not the right word in high school, but when you were younger, like a sophomore, junior, senior,
No, as a matter of fact, I avoided wrestling matches like the plague.
You did?
Just pictured them to be violent and just not good. My girlfriend in school just convinced me to switch from cheerleading for basketball to cheerleading for wrestling my senior year, and I did it, and I've been involved with wrestling ever since.
So you went over the dark side of wrestling.
I did.
Now, that's meant with all respect to wrestlers because I know how much hard work they put in. But back in my day, wrestlers and basketball players did not get along.
Right.
We were pumpkin heads. They always challenged us to, let's go up on the stage on the mat and wrestle. And we didn't want to do that because they'd kick our butts.
Right.
It's funny. I didn't know that you started cheering with basketball.
Yep. Yep. Volleyball and basketball I cheerleaded for all the way through high school until my senior year. So.
Well, that was serendipitous because that's how you got to know Carl, right?
Correct.
And wrestling has been a big part of your life.
It sure has.
Let's start with Carl. Like I said, he was a great wrestler. He's been coaching 30
plus years.
30, let's say plus,
Yep.
to be safe. And of course, Zach, he had the all-time wins record at 225, I think, that he held up until a couple years ago.
That's correct.
What is it like to just totally have to immerse yourself in the sport? Not just with, it had to be, as a parent,
Yes.
you're watching Zach,
Yes.
but also your husband, kind of a wrestling widow, aren't you?
Yes. Oh, for sure. For sure, a wrestling widow. It's 2 totally different things watching your son wrestle versus no son wrestling and just supporting my husband.
And you still go to all the matches?
I do,
All of them?
Well,
or
no, not all of them anymore, but I do get to as many as I possibly can.
Okay.
It's been a lot of fun the late 2019s to the early 2020s
Okay.
with all the accomplishments that team had, and it was a lot of fun.
Well, the fun thing about wrestling is, even if you don't have a very successful team, you're probably going to go to the state tournament,
Right.
because you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever wrestlers.
Right.
You went to state tournament a lot, didn't you?
Yes.
With
Yes.
Zach, and then
With
after Zach graduated?
Correct. Yes, I don't think I've missed a state wrestling tournament in 30 plus years.
You've been to all of them? Uh-huh. Even if he just goes for one kid,
Yes.
you're still there?
Yes. Still go.
Wow.
Yep. Support that one wrestler that.
Well, you have to. I mean,
Yes.
it's got to be tough for a single wrestler. And I know that the wrestling's a family. We talk
Yes.
about that a lot. And to have just one kid going up into this huge, into the Metro, into the XL Energy Center,
Yes.
and to have support of the parents, not their parents, but the wrestling community. I've noticed that even if there's just 2 wrestlers, that there's 50 Tracy people
A lot
there.
of people there. Yes. Yep.
Okay, no more wrestling talk. I've had enough of that. I don't want to think about wrestling until this winter.
Right.
But I will say that's one of the funnest sports to shoot photographs of,
Awesome.
because I get to be down there, like
Yes.
sitting down there, and they're right in front of me,
Action shots.
and
yeah.
there's all kinds of action. I will say I don't like the spotlight, and I know the kids love it,
Oh,
but
right.
it's hard to shoot photos with the
I
spotlight
bet
on.
it is.
But it's still very enjoyable for me.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your work experience. You started
Okay.
at the courthouse in Lyon County,
I
or the government
did.
center, I should say.
I was 19 years old, worked at the Auditor Treasurer's Office for 26 years. And then I went to U.S. Bank for 4 years. And I've been with the city here in Tracy since 2016.
What did you start when you started with the city in 16? What were you doing?
I was working at U.S. Bank.
Oh, I'm sorry. So
Yeah.
when did you start in Tracy again?
So I started in Tracy in 2016, September of
Okay.
2016.
That's what I meant when
sorry.
your first position here. Was it at City Hall?
Yes. Yes.
What were you doing?
I was what was my title then?
It's not that long ago.
I know. I think it was just administrative assistant.
Okay.
I believe is what it was. Yeah.
So is that the assistant to the city administrator? Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Who was the administrator at that time?
It was Madonna Peterson. I believe her and Shane were co-interns at the time. We went through a period there where we had a new administrator, it seemed, every 6 months.
I know. We've had a lot of them, even the last decade.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know why. The turnover there is incredible.
Right.
So then now you're deputy clerk.
Now I'm deputy clerk. Yep.
What are your duties? What are some of your duties with deputy clerk?
I basically keep all the records for the city of Tracy. Do all the minutes. I do the payroll. I assist Jeff with any projects that we have going on within the city. So yeah, it all keeps me very busy.
How many hours do you, just 40 hours a week?
Yep.
It seems probably like 80, but
Right. It is more than 40, I guess, because of the meetings that I attend.
Yeah.
I attend the council meetings and the planning meetings and the park meetings and all of that.
I was going to save this question to last, but now we're talking about City Hall. You mentioned at the council meeting Monday about AI is coming into City Hall.
Yep.
Is that, what kind of learning curve is that for you? You mentioned it was easier. It makes your job a lot easier. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it's a lot more saving me a lot of time. I don't have to re-listen to every meeting that I attend. I'm able to just upload everything, and it spits out the minutes for me. So I just have to go through and make sure that the system interpreted what was said correctly and all of that, and away I go.
Is it hard to learn all this stuff? Is it a lot of education involved in this?
Not really. No, no, it's just pretty much uploading files and yeah, it's a very simple process and it will save a lot of time. We just have the basic plan right now, which only allows like 4 meetings a month for us to do this with. So I make sure that I keep the bigger meetings for that and maybe just hand type out the smaller, shorter meetings.
So back in the day, it was all transcribing. You would listen to the recorder, because that's what I do basically 90% of my week, is I have my recorder, my earphones in, and I'm typing, and I rewind, and I'm typing, and I rewind. That's, I know firsthand, that's time consuming.
It is very time consuming. When I first started with the city, I had to type it word for word and try to make the sentences flow because you know how it is. We're
I know.
humming and not finishing sentences and all of that.
Or starting a new thought. Someone starts something and then they change gears and they pivot and you're like, so what do I do now?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you got to fill in the blanks there. And then it went from that to just kind of more doing highlights of the meeting. But some of the more contentious meetings are meetings that had things that will likely be looked back on at some point.
You're documenting everything, history like we are, just for the city.
So I wanted to make sure it was understandable and the pertinent information was there. So if they look back and read it, they get a general idea of what took place.
All right. So now let's get into the reason I have you on today.
Yeah.
Let's talk parks.
My favorite subject.
I know it is. Let's start with our gem, Central Park. That's our biggest park. That's, I'm going to say, arguably our most important park because of where it is in the city, how big it is. And we all know the playground is up now. Just talk a little bit about that process because that stuff just doesn't happen overnight.
Right. So first off, I want to give a big shout out to the park board and all the work that they've done and what has all been accomplished in the last year or so. They've done an amazing job and kudos to them.
Yeah.
So when the park board first met, they had to determine what park do we want to start with? You know, what needs our attention the most? And it didn't take long to realize that was Central Park. Central Park was given to the city back in 1883 by the railroad company. And in the deed that we received it in, it indicated that it would be forever a park. So that will always be a park.
Right.
So then they just kind of started digging into, you know, what within the park do we want to tackle first? And clearly that was the playground equipment because the old equipment hadn't been replaced in 40 years. So
and you used to play, and I used to play on the slide of torture. I dubbed it. And that's, you know, in these days we see these new parks and they're all, plastic and beautiful and safe. I think that's the most important thing because safety back when we were kids really wasn't a priority, I don't think.
Not so much. No, that metal slide will get you every time when it's hot out.
Get that sun beating down on it all day in the summer.
Yeah. So I pretty much grew up in that park between skating and sledding and playing on the playground and all kinds of stuff. So it had a very special place in my heart.
Okay.
But so at the time, our former city administrator felt that we needed to apply for grants. And so we put a lot of time and energy into getting our master plan put together, first of all. And then we applied to the DNR for grants for several years in a row with no success.
And those are tough to get, as we found out.
Yes. So we determined that we needed to take matters into our own hands and put some flyers together and just started to get the word out. And the public responded in a great way. I mean, people were so generous and so excited to see something done with that park after all these years. So
Was there any, when you get turned down from the DNR grant, what, 3 times was it?
yep.
Was there a point where the park board is like, oh, this is not going to happen. We can't get this money. Is this a sign that this is not going to happen? Or was it just all optimism?
Yeah, I mean, you do let that creep into your thought process. But we also knew that we had not promoted it publicly yet.
True.
And we had high hopes that things would turn out the way that it did. And we're very thankful that it did.
Yeah, I remember writing about that, like almost beating a dead horse and thinking this is the only information the public, because no one goes to city council meetings anymore,
Right.
unfortunately.
Yep.
I think that's horrible, by the way. I think people need to be more involved and
Right.
educated. They can watch it on TV, they can read the paper, but to be there and, just be brave enough to stand up at the podium and get their 3 minutes of fame and ask some
Absolutely.
questions, that's kind of lost on our society today. But yeah, so the news was all negative. It was like, oh, they got turned down again. They got
Right.
turned down again. They got turned down again. And I think it's important for people to know that and the persistence that you and the park board members had.
Yep.
Otherwise, we might not be talking right now.
You're correct. Yes. Yeah, no, it was a very, very good day when they started installing that equipment, because
Yeah.
that's when it really became real to the park board and all of us, and we couldn't have been happier for.
Well, you talk about volunteers, the people that showed up,
Yes.
the ladies from the bank, kids.
Correct.
I mean, obviously Shane and his crew were there.
Yep.
But I think that shows the importance of this and what people think of that importance.
Absolutely.
We got to have this park. Let's chip in and roll up our sleeves.
Yes, yes. Because it is definitely a focal point of the city. I feel like the city was mainly built around that park. So, yeah, I mean, whenever you go to a city, if the playground is 40, 50 years old and just dilapidated, and, it does reflect on the city
does.
and how people perceive it and stuff like that. And there's a lot of people with a lot of city pride in this town. So,
That's good.
yes.
I remember this has happened twice now, being stopped by people in Marshall who were in Tracy for this or that or whatever, and they were talking about the playground.
Sure.
And they, to me, they said, why can't Marshall have something like that?
Really?
And when
That's
the
awesome.
first person said that to me, that blew me away, because everyone looks to Marshall as the hub of all these little towns.
Right.
It's 14,500 people, whatever it is. It's got a university. It's got everything a city would need. But there are people over there that are a little jealous.
Well, that's,
Tracy's
that's
Park.
all right. They can come on over and play on our equipment.
I want you to tell the park board that when you have your
Yes,
next meeting, because
I
I think they
will.
need to know that.
Absolutely.
So that's phase one, but that's not all of phase one
No.
includes. Let's go over some other things for phase
So
one.
for phase one, we are working on getting the plaques put together for the people that donated towards the playground equipment. We want to make sure that everybody is recognized as best we can and all of that. And then the other main thing is the sidewalk that'll go around the playground equipment itself. It needs to have sidewalk there so moms and dads and everybody has a safe place to walk around it.
And especially for strollers too.
Correct. So that will be done this fall sometime. We've accepted a quote for it, and we have been told that that'll happen this fall.
Okay.
Along with that, we have a push going for benches, and the benches hopefully can be donated either in memory of somebody or in honor of somebody. It doesn't have to be somebody that's passed. And we want those benches to be placed around the playground equipment. And then as we get more, we will hopefully be able to place those throughout the park itself. So,
And when you mentioned throughout the park, there's also something called a walking loop, which is different from what you're talking about right now.
correct.
What is the walking loop? Let's put this into context and give
Sure.
us a mental picture of where that's going throughout the park?
Yeah. So the walking loop will pretty much connect the entire park
Okay.
on sidewalk. It will just, we do have a master plan set up, and that indicates where the sidewalk will go. But it'll basically just loop all the way around and kind of connect the band shell and the shelter and the bathrooms and the play equipment and the skating rink, so that you can get to all of it on
Without
the
stepping on a blade of grass.
Correct. And that will also be much better for handicapped accessibility and that type of thing. So that is going to be hopefully our next big thing that we want to get accomplished at the park.
Well, maybe the second most important aspect or piece of the park besides the new playground is that band shell, very old band shell.
Yes,
But when we have events, it's very well used.
it is.
What are the improvements for that? And is it going to be this year, this fall?
So yes, we are going to replace the roof on the band shell this year yet. It's been
Okay.
budgeted for through the city budget. And then the electrical piece of the park will be huge for us to be able to have bands on the band shell, because right now our amps are pretty low. So we always have to have a generator on site in case, we blow a fuse or whatever.
We're making do right now, but it
making
could be
do.
better.
Correct. And we're just hoping to get electricity throughout the park, get the ice skating rink lit up, and hopefully put like some Christmas lights up throughout the park at Christmas time, and maybe have a town Christmas tree that we light first part of December as a community, and just kind of
Have an
Sure.
event, make an event out of it.
what's that?
Make an event out of it.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
Walnut Grove just did that last Christmas season.
Did they?
Yeah, in the little
Yeah,
park.
just connect it with the chamber's events, the parade, and just kind of end up at the park and light the Christmas tree and start the season off.
Yep. And the water system, that's been upgraded, right?
It has. We received a donation from a private individual, and we were in need of it because what makes the park beautiful is flowers and plantings and that type of thing, and all of that requires watering.
So this is like a sprinkler system type thing?
Well, it's not really a sprinkler system. It's more like spigots in convenient areas.
Okay. I see.
So that water can be drawn and
Distributed
yes,
to the right place.
yeah,
So Central Park's not our only park.
it is not.
Is there, has there been discussion about, well, what about, we got to do something with Werner Park. We got to do something more with Sebastian. I think the playground equipment at Sebastian, although it doesn't look old,
Right.
is probably considered old,
Yes.
comparatively speaking.
Yeah. So initially we were hoping to take one park at a time. Not that we don't address issues at other parks, because we do. But yes, the Sebastian Park, we did get a grant from the Taylor Family Farms
Okay.
for that. However, in thinking it through, we are kind of considering just replacing the pieces that need replacing there, not the
Okay.
entire structure, and hopefully using that grant to go towards the electrical or something in Central Park.
Yeah, because the Taylor Family Farms is, as long as it's about the outdoors and the parks
Correct.
for this round,
Yes.
this year, that's what it's for.
That is what it's for. But we do need to get confirmation from them that we are allowed to do that. And,
Okay.
and we have not gotten that yet.
Oh,
so,
okay.
yeah.
So you can switch gears, but you got to kind of get it approved? Or,
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Because when that grant was applied for, it was indicated specifically what it would be used for, which
Sure.
was Sebastian Park. But if we replaced Sebastian Park's equipment and we moved that equipment to another park, then we're just creating more park equipment that needs to be maintained and all of that. And so we just felt that that money would be better spent on the upgrades at Central Park.
Well, parks are such a big part of small towns.
It is.
And Tracy's, I think there are more parks than churches, if I'm not mistaken.
We have a lot of parks.
Yeah.
But people are passionate about their parks.
Yep.
I mean, if we even give it a second thought to possibly remove a park, it doesn't go over well.
You don't remove parks.
No, you don't remove
you
parks.
just can't.
So
everything we're doing here takes a lot of money, and I know the city stepped up, the residents of Tracy stepped up for the playground equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're starting another push for donations
We are.
for phase 2 and everything. There's never enough money, right? You never
Right.
have too much money.
right.
Is do you think, Diane, it'll be more difficult to start? We have momentum and we have something real in the park, but this is phase 2, and now we're talking about, okay, now we're going to go back and ask for more money.
Right.
Are you a little trepidatious about that? Like,
I
is
think
this
so. And, this is infrastructure we're talking about. It's not nearly as fun as
Yeah.
the playground equipment
Yep.
because everybody wants to be part of that. So,
And you can see it.
correct.
Infrastructure, you
It's tangible.
can-
Yeah. But I think if the public sees our vision with the skating rink, getting that lit up, we want to get kids out and doing something aside from athletics and sports and school and all
And
of that.
iPads and cell phones.
Yes. So I think getting some benches down there and hopefully a warming house and lights will be huge. So I just really hope that people can see the large picture, and we will be mailing flyers out this week to all the residents in Tracy. And that flyer has the master plan in it for them to look at and see where things are going to be located and what our end goal on all of this will be. And there's also an attachment in there that just kind of brings to life what our hopes and dreams for that park are. And so, yeah, it's going to be a little tougher go of it with this round, just because, like I say, it's not nearly as fun as the equipment is. But yeah, again, we're just hopeful that people will see the value in what we're trying to accomplish. So.
Well, I hope so. I think, I'll make a push right now that people need to do this. I mean, it's not necessarily for them, but it's for their grandkids or kids
Yes.
or future generations.
Absolutely.
And if you don't do this, and we've learned this through the city council, if you quote unquote kick that can, let someone else worry about it, it's going to catch up to you.
It will.
And
It will.
now that we've invested so much into this Central Park playground,
Yep.
why not keep that going, right?
Absolutely. Hopefully we'll get some momentum. And, that park is very old. Like I say, it was purchased in 1883, and we still have the base to the water fountain there.
I was going to go there with the nostalgia
Yeah.
piece because I
Yes.
know there are people out there, the Seth Schmidts of the world, who really appreciate that, especially
Yes.
that fountain.
Yes.
And it used to be where kids swam and waded in
Yes.
water. And
Yes.
it had the cherubs there. And
Yeah.
I wish today's 10-year-olds, could kind of go back in time and see how cool that was.
Well, hopefully we can go into the future and they can see it that way. Yeah, because the pendant is gone. It was vandalized back in the 1950s-ish. But the base is still there, and the wading pool obviously has been filled in with dirt, and that's just a done deal, I believe. The steps leading up to the wading pool are still there. But yeah, we've tossed around the idea that we would really love to get that up and running again. There's concerns, obviously, of mosquitoes and this and that.
There always will be.
Yeah, but hopefully, there'd be a pump there and it would aerate and generate, move the water.
Keep the water
around and-
flowing.
yeah. So our big hope would be to get that back up for the historical piece of it. And, we're kind of viewing this park as a community gathering space as much as an athletics park or anything like that. We just kind of want to bring back the Norman Rockwell feeling to the town with the skating and, the walking loop, whether that's a leisure walk or that's a run around the park or whatever that entails for each individual person. And along with that, in the master plan, we have what's called an art walk. That'll be on the south side of the park.
Yeah.
Which will bring some of that piece into it as well. So we're just hoping for it to be just an enjoyable place for people to go and just relax or work, whatever the situation is.
Let's make a plug for donations, Diane. What can people do, or what do they need to know about if they want to dig into their wallets for this phase 2?
So the flyers that we're sending out has a donation piece to it. Any donation. Nothing is too big or too small. It can be $10, it can be $5, it can be $10,000. But the piece in there you can send into City Hall, and it has our address on there. Otherwise, you can contact me at City Hall. The number there is 507-629-5533. And that can go towards either the phase 2 that we're working on. It can go towards a memorial bench.
Okay.
Or we're also doing a memorial tree with the emerald borers coming. We're going to have to take some trees down, and we just want to make sure that we replace them.
Yeah.
Park is no good without trees.
Like you said at the council meeting, we don't want a bunch of holes.
Right.
I mean, not only is it a safety issue, kids falling in whatever and tripping, it just doesn't look good.
Right.
And it's kind of like counterproductive to the progress that the park has been making.
Correct. So any of those 3 things, pick your poison. We'll be grateful for anything we get.
Sounds good. Diane, you are off the hot seat. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
This week's podcast was brought to you by Southwest Sanitation. Since 1967, the professionals at Southwest Sanitation have brought you reliable and honest service. We offer commercial, rural, and residential services, as well as roll-offs and portable toilets. Call your locally owned and operated neighbors at Southwest Sanitation for all your sanitation needs. 507-532-4500.